Okay, get ready, because today we are going to take a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. We're talking about the future of education.
And not just like small changes. We're talking
Okay.
about a potential complete transformation, like
Yeah.
a total overhaul.
What if knowledge was like actual currency?
Whoa.
And anyone, anywhere, could share their knowledge, teach other people and get paid for it.
That's a really cool concept.
And all of this would happen in like a really cool virtual space. It's kind of blowing my mind how three big trends are all coming together.
Oh, yeah. Which ones?
You've got the crazy growth of ed tech. Then you've got the creator economy that's just exploding. And then you've got the incredible potential of, XR and VR and all that in education. All of these are like merging to create something totally new.
It's mind-blowing, right? Like, it's really exciting to see where this is all headed. And one company that's really pushing the boundaries here is Eon Reality.
Yeah, I've heard of them. They're planning to launch this thing called the SmartReality Marketplace. And it's coming out relatively soon, early 2025. Think of it like Netflix for learning, but it's like way more immersive and it exists in the metaverse.
Okay, now that's interesting.
The more I learn about it, the more I realize this could be a total game changer, especially for education.
Yeah, especially for education. Like Eon Reality, their whole vision is super ambitious. They're creating this platform, right? And anyone with expertise, like you, me, anyone who knows something, they're calling them creators.
Creators, okay. I like that.
And these creators can like design immersive educational experiences using all that cool XR tech. Think about it, like you're learning history and you can walk through ancient Rome in VR.
That would be incredible.
Or like dissecting a virtual heart in 3D.
Well, that would be so much better than like the frog we had to dissect in high school.
Way better. It's a completely different way to learn anatomy.
Yeah, for sure. So how is this smart reality thing different from just like watching a YouTube video? Because both are online learning experiences.
Right. But the difference is huge. It's all about combining immersive technology with AI. So it personalizes the whole learning experience.
So it's not just watching, it's doing.
Exactly. You're actively engaging with the material, and it's tailored to you.
I like that.
To like how you learn best and what you need to learn. It's like having a personal tutor who can adapt to like every time you struggle or you have an aha moment.
That's such a good way to put it. And it all comes back to this idea of knowledge as currency, which I just love.
Yeah, that's what really hooked me too. I mean, it's revolutionary for education. It's like the marketplace aspect.
Right.
It's kind of like Etsy for education. You know what I mean? Or like Patreon.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. So Eon Reality is creating a system where creators, those experts, they can earn income from their knowledge, right? So they build and sell these extra learning experiences. And learners get access to this huge range of stuff from different people, different viewpoints. It's really cool.
That's amazing. So walk me through this. Let's say I'm, I don't know, an expert in the history of cheese making.
You and me both.
How would I go about making content for this smart reality thing?
Well, Eon Reality gives creators all the tools they need. They've got AI tools to help you. So you can even take something like, I don't know, a cheese recipe and turn it into a 3D model. So, you can actually show the whole cheese making process visually.
Yeah.
Then you can add in quizzes and interactive stuff, make it fun.
That's very cool. So once I've got my awesome cheese making course, how do I actually make money from it? And on the learner side, what's the cost?
So they have this really cool 80-20 revenue split, which is super generous to creators. So creators get to keep 80% of what their content earns. For learners, it's a flat fee, $9.99 a month, and you get access to the entire Smart Reality Marketplace.
Really? Wow, that's like way cheaper than traditional education. So they're making it accessible to almost anyone.
Accessibility is a key thing here. And that's where their mobile-first design comes in, You don't even need a fancy VR headset.
Oh, that's great.
You can learn wherever you are on your phone or your tablet. Anyone can join in.
This all sounds incredible. So how is Eon Reality planning to launch this whole thing? It's ambitious.
Yeah, they're doing it in 3 phases. They're starting with like a minimum viable product. They want to get those core features and content out there, see how it goes. And they've teamed up with Etisalat.
Who are they?
A big Middle Eastern telecom company. It's a smart partnership, right?
So they're launching in the UAE first.
Yeah. A strong base for their initial launch.
Makes sense. Start smaller and then scale up.
Exactly. They're aiming to get around 1,000 creators and 100,000 learners in that first phase. Then in phase two, they'll expand to new markets like the US and Europe, add more features, more content, and that's where the AI personalization gets really, really good. It'll be learning what you're into and suggesting courses just for you. Like imagine having your own personalized education advisor right there on your phone.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So phase three is like global domination.
Global domination is the goal. Think like localized content, more partnerships, and way more sophisticated features. They're even looking into using like the spatial AI for even more immersive environments. Eon Reality, they're not afraid to push the boundaries. And their goals for 2025, they're really ambitious, like 1 million active users and 150,000 premium subscribers. And on the creator side, 10,000 active creators making over 100,000 pieces of content.
Those are some big numbers. So what does this mean for the future of education? Eon Reality is onto something big here.
I think if they can pull this off, smart reality could change how we think about learning and teaching. Imagine education being accessible to everyone, anywhere, no matter who you are or how much money you have.
That's a powerful idea. It's about empowering everyone involved. Creators can share their passion, learners get amazing experiences.
And think about lifelong learning. The world's changing so fast. Jobs are changing. Technology is changing. Smart reality could help people stay ahead of the curve. And it could help traditional institutions adapt to this new world, too.
It's a lot to take in, and there are some challenges for sure, but man, the potential here is huge.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Like, how will traditional education adapt to something like this?
Right, universities and colleges, how do they fit into a world with smart reality?
Well, I mean, smart reality offers this super high quality learning experience. It's personalized and it's way cheaper than traditional education.
Yeah.
It could make people rethink the value of those big, expensive schools. You know what I mean?
So universities might need to step up their game.
Big time. They might have to embrace new models like hybrid learning, maybe incorporate smart realities, immersive experiences into their own courses. It's all about adapting, right?
Totally. It's almost like universities could become creators themselves,
Oh, yeah.
partnering with experts on the platform or maybe even offering their own courses.
That's a great strategy. It would give them a way to reach a global audience and showcase their expertise in a really cool way.
It's interesting because this whole thing is blurring the lines between formal and informal education, don't you think?
It totally is. Smart reality is putting the power in the hands of individuals.
Right.
You get to decide what you learn, when you learn it, based on your own interests and your career goals.
It's all about empowering people to become lifelong learners, which is essential these days.
Absolutely essential. The job market is changing so rapidly. Technology is always evolving. People need to keep learning and adapting.
Exactly. I could see smart reality becoming the go-to place for professional development. Like imagine companies hiring people based on what they've learned on platforms like this, not just their degrees.
That's a huge shift, right?
Huge.
It would mean putting more emphasis on actual skills and real-world experience. It could benefit both the employers and the job seekers.
It's a win-win. But of course, with any big change, there are going to be challenges.
For sure. What kind of hurdles do you see smart reality facing as they try to change education?
Well, one thing that comes to mind is quality control. With thousands of creators potentially making content,
Right.
how do you ensure the information is accurate and high quality?
That's a big one. They're going to need some serious vetting processes and ways to identify content that might be problematic.
Maybe community feedback and peer review would be helpful.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue of the digital divide.
Yeah. Not everyone has access to the internet or devices.
Exactly. If they want to make education truly accessible to everyone, they're going to have to address that.
They'll probably need to work with governments and organizations to close that gap.
For sure. Partnerships are going to be key. Another challenge I see is information overload.
Ooh, yeah. Come
I mean, with so much content out there, it could be overwhelming for learners to find what they need.
So that's where the AI comes in, like helping learners find relevant content that matches their interests.
Exactly. It needs to be more than just a library of content.
Right.
It needs to be personalized, like a learning guide almost.
I'm curious, with AI playing such a big role, what happens to the role of educators? What do teachers do in this world?
I think their role might shift, less about lecturing, more about guiding students,
Okay, yeah.
helping them develop critical thinking skills, encouraging deeper understanding. It becomes less about delivering information and more about facilitating learning.
So like teachers become mentors, helping students navigate this massive sea of information.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. But we also need to be careful about potential biases in the AI algorithms. It's got to be developed responsibly.
That's a really good point. We don't want to perpetuate existing inequalities.
Absolutely. There's a lot to think about as we move into this uncharted territory, but the potential benefits are incredible.
It's exciting to think about a world where everyone can access amazing learning experiences that are tailored to them and that help them achieve their goals.
And a world where knowledge is a valuable currency, empowering people to learn, grow, and make a difference.
It's a future worth discussing and debating as we figure out how to shape education. It has so much promise, but it also has challenges that we need to be aware of. So we've been talking about Reality's Smart Reality Marketplace and how it could totally change education.
We've covered the exciting stuff like personalized learning, knowledge as currency, and the shift towards lifelong learning. And we've also talked about some of the challenges like ensuring quality, bridging the digital divide, and making sure AI is used ethically.
Yeah, I want to kind of zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What could the rise of platforms like this mean for society as a whole?
It brings up some really deep questions about knowledge, education, even work itself.
Like if knowledge becomes something you can easily access and trade, how does that change our ideas about expertise and authority?
I think it could lead to a more decentralized system where knowledge is created and shared much more democratically.
So individuals build a reputation based on their contributions to platforms like Smart Reality, not just traditional credentials.
Exactly. It challenges those old hierarchies we see in so many fields.
I'm also curious about the potential impact on social mobility and economic opportunity.
Well, if smart reality really does make high-quality education and skills development accessible to everyone, it could be a really powerful tool for economic empowerment.
So it could give people from all backgrounds a chance to succeed, regardless of where they started.
Exactly. Leveling the playing field, breaking down barriers.
But we need to be realistic about the potential downsides, too. What are some of the risks we should be thinking about?
One risk is that the inequalities we already see could actually get worse if access to technology and digital literacy aren't evenly distributed.
So bridging the digital divide is absolutely crucial.
It is, we can't leave anyone behind. Another concern is the commodification of knowledge.
Oh yeah, interesting.
If everything becomes about buying and selling, do we lose sight of the value of learning for its own sake?
That's a really important point.
Hmm.
We don't want learning to become purely transactional.
Right. There's a joy in discovery, a love of knowledge that we need to preserve.
Definitely. And what about social interaction? Will these virtual environments replace real-world connections, in education and beyond?
That's a valid question. I think the key is to see these technologies as complementing real-world interactions, not replacing them.
I like that, yeah.
They can create new opportunities for connection and collaboration, but they shouldn't come at the expense of face-to-face relationships.
So it seems like the success of platforms like Smart Reality really depends on how we, as a society, decide to use this technology.
It's up to us to shape the future of learning. We have to make sure it benefits everyone.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Smart Reality and the future of education, I think this is something for our listeners to ponder.
Imagine a world where education is no longer limited to classrooms or a specific location.
A world where personalized learning is available to everyone, no matter their background or circumstances.
A world where knowledge is shared freely and the pursuit of lifelong learning is just a natural part of life.
That's the future that Smart Reality hints at. A future full of amazing possibilities, but also potential pitfalls.
It's a future that we can shape through thoughtful conversations, responsible innovation, and a commitment to equity.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of education.